Welcome, Disney enthusiasts, to the Let's Talk Disney podcast. Time to delve into the latest trends, topics, and Disney Reddit realm. Here are your hosts, Samantha and Kindra.
Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 8. This is Samantha.
This is Kindra.
And we are back. We have a
Halloween.
lot of news, but we have a really fun topic coming. Today we're covering everything spooky and ghostly in the resort.
Well, it's September, so obviously it's Halloween time.
It is Halloween time.
It's fall, it's Halloween.
Yes.
Our weather's cooling down. We got a lot of rain.
Yes.
So
we covered last week that the pumpkin was in town, but now we've had all of the food dropping.
Mm-hmm.
Popcorn buckets have dropped, and tomorrow is the first Oogie Boogie Bash.
that's very exciting.
Yeah.
I've even seen some sneak peeks of the merchandise. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
cute. And, well, you know what's crazy is that, like, Disney World is already, like, a week or two into their Halloween parties.
Really?
And Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando have already started.
So not so scary then?
Yes.
In Disney World is the one. Okay. Have you done that one before?
No, but I want to.
Okay. That's on our bucket list.
I'm
then.
actually really, really, really wanting to go to Hollywood Horror Nights.
When this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to get there.
All right.
One way or another, I'm going to figure it out.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So back to Disneyland. We're in full swing with all of the new Halloween merchandise, the Halloween popcorn buckets, the Halloween food. As far as popcorn buckets go, they really outdid themselves this year.
A ton. There's so much I can't keep up with it.
I know. There's a Winifred
So
mini
much.
bucket. So cute.
Yeah, that is really cute. A mini Winnie.
Mm-hmm. A mini Winnie. Yeah, that's so cute. That's what we'll call her.
Mini Winnie.
And then there's a Nightmare Before Christmas bucket. Disney World also got this bucket, and they got it way before we did because their party started early. But it's the mayor on his car, and it has like lock, shock, and barrel in
Yes.
it.
Is that like a hearse? Is that supposed to be a hearse?
I think so.
Okay. Like
Yeah.
an old timey hearse. Okay.
But my favorite Nightmare Before Christmas is, some people call him Scary Teddy. I call him Vampire Teddy. He's my favorite.
He's very popular this year.
He's
They have a
so
little
cute.
shoulder plush.
Oh
with
my god.
him. Yeah.
I know, I got 2 of them.
He's like cute but dark.
I know. Actually, one of our friends, Christy, was in the parks before we were when they dropped Halloween merchandise, and I was like, can you get me one of those?
Right, just
I'm going to
'cause
be
they-
there in 2 days, but I need one just in case.
Well, because sometimes we go and they're there, and sometimes they're not. They're just not. And
Yeah.
we don't know. There's really no rhyme or reason
Right.
why that happens.
It's crazy. Wait, did I say Mini Winnie was a popcorn bucket? I meant
It's
that
a
she's a
sipper.
sipper.
Yes. No, there's a big difference.
Yes, she is a
It's
sipper.
easy to get it all like mixed up though.
I know, yeah, because they kind of all look like popcorn buckets.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so Winnie Minnie is a sipper.
Mini Winnie.
The Nightmare Before Christmas is a popcorn bucket.
Yes.
Then we have Skeleton Mickey.
Yes,
He is a popcorn
bucket.
bucket.
Okay.
He's really cute. He's been selling out really fast.
Okay. None of these are really practical popcorn buckets. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
They call them popcorn. It's because they come with a drink for the sippers, or they come with popcorn
On the side.
on the side.
Yes.
Because it's not practical to put it actually in the bucket. Maybe you do. I don't know.
Right. And then we have Zero, the Light of
Oh.
Zero. So cute.
Last year, right?
It's
Did we
back
have this
this
one
year.
last year? Okay.
Yeah. It's a little different this year.
Does it glow in the dark?
Yes. And
it.
the
Love
Donald candy corn sipper now glows in the dark.
Okay.
That's back.
That was a huge hit last year.
I know. Paisley never
They
got
sold
hers,
out.
so I'm going to
we
get
have
her
to
one.
get Paisley. They sold out fast last year.
I know.
Really fast. Like
Yeah.
there was one big drop and then
Well, we
gone.
had one for Paisley, then we gave it away.
I know.
And
Poor
then
Paisley.
poor Paisley. You know what I was thinking? We could
Kids
do a
always get
giveaway.
shafted. A giveaway?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
What are we gonna
going
give
to
away?
the parks tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm not sure which bucket we're going to be able to get extra of.
All right, because this is news to me. We haven't talked about
No,
this
we
yet,
haven't.
but-
That's a good idea, right?
It's a great idea.
Okay.
I love giving stuff away.
Okay, so I'm going to say, we'll say a code word. I don't know
Okay.
what the word is at the end of this.
Okay.
And then
You're just
whatever,
going to make one up?
yes,
Are
and
you gonna
I'll
tell me?
announce, I'll announce the giveaway on Instagram, and I'll announce it on Facebook, probably like Wednesday when this drops.
Perfect.
And then I'll know what we have extra of, or what we were
Perfect.
able to get.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds like a deal. That sounds like a deal. And along with that, there are so many amazing treats coming out. Candies, chocolates, candied apples, cookies, all kinds of wonderful things, but we need the weather to cool down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in order to be able to get those home, to friends and family and stuff, we have to have cooler than triple digits.
Yes. Actually, this week is pretty good.
This week is not bad. We're just supposed to hit 100 degrees again next weekend.
Yeah.
So we got a little reprieve. It was nice.
I mean, I feel like the summer hasn't been that bad. I mean, we hit like 120 days. Some days, like 118, 119.
Right.
But overall, not bad.
No, and we got this nice monsoon.
But I'm happy it is over and it is fall. We're living our best life.
We are. I miss summer.
Speaking of the end of summer.
All
right, we're out of summer. We're into fall. So one thing that comes with the end of summer is like my Wondrous Journey fireworks have ended.
Yes. That was just, Friday night? Was it last night?
Yeah, so it ended on August 31st. Mm-hmm. And then we went straight into Halloween Screams on September 1st, which I'm so excited about.
Yes.
But you want to hear some real bullshit?
What?
Fucking Mickey's Mix Magic is back from November 1st to November 9th, which my daughter's birthday is November 7th. And so we're going to be having like a sleepover.
Right.
We're going to go to Great Wolf Lodge and stuff like that. And it's freaking Mickey's Mix Magic. My most hated fireworks. The one night I'm going to be there overnight.
Wait. There's a fireworks display that you hate or that you don't like?
I hate Mickey's Mix Magic. It's so dumb.
What? I did not know this.
Yeah. I just don't know why they couldn't bring back Wondrous Journeys for that 1 week before they went into Christmas.
True.
Like, what is the point?
This is the one they bring back. The one that you don't like.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
My most hated.
Well, that just means we don't have to stick around for the fireworks that late.
The kids won't be crying.
I can go to bed early. Yay!
Oh my god. We're still staying late, Kindra. Okay, so I think that about wraps up our news, but we have a really fun discussion topic this week.
Yes.
I do want to just start with a trigger warning. If you are afraid of ghosts, or don't want your time, if you feel like speaking about any haunted stories in Disneyland will ruin your time at Disneyland, I advise you to skip forward. If you have like religious preferences that you don't want to talk about or hear about other,
and this is graphic. I think some of the stories that we're going to be going over are real or rumored to be true. We do try to do as much research as possible, but they're graphic.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have to do with death and dying.
And an afterlife, right?
Correct.
Like if you have a religious preference on your afterlife and you don't want to think about that there could be ghosts or anything like that.
Exactly.
This isn't the episode for you.
Correct.
So I encourage you to come back next week.
But if you love it and you're on board and you're here for it, we're ready.
Here we go. I do have to start this conversation by saying I'm a scaredy cat. I love ghosts. No, you like the idea. Like, you love the adrenaline rush of being scared. Right.
Like, you love scary movies.
I love scary movies. I only watch scary movies or Disney movies. That's it. Like, I don't watch anything in between Disney movies or scary movies. Like, it's one or the other.
Right.
I know
you like that adrenaline rush.
But I am scared of real life. Like, I'm scared of the dark at night.
Yes, you are.
I don't go outside at night. I feel like it's because I love true crime and ghost stories so much that I'm like, I'm not fucking with that. Like, I'm too smart for this.
Well, true crime to me is a little scarier than the paranormal, because the paranormal to me is outside of our control anyway, and I don't feel like there's a lot that they can do to us. But true crime, that shit can really happen.
Yeah, that's why I don't, like, at nighttime, if I forget something in my car, I'm not going to get it. I'm not. It's staying there. Once I get myself into my bed, I'm staying under the sheets. I'm not letting a leg hang over the edge. I
have seen you run from your car to your house. Yeah. Like, at night. And then George has jumped out and scared you, right?
All the time.
Oh my God, that is so awful.
He's so annoying. It is so annoying.
He knows you're scared.
Yeah, and yesterday we were having dinner at Olive Garden and I stayed back because the baby was getting fussy. He went to go put the kids in the car. And just because he always tries to scare me. So I'm like coming out, it's nighttime, I have the food in my hands and it's like full. Well, he thought it'd be funny to put all the kids in the car and then hide behind a bush and scare me.
Of course, yeah.
Well, the food goes on the floor. It's like a whole thing. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm a jump I like jump.
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
yeah.
I'm not fighting back.
Right.
I'm not frozen. I'm just like, every time.
You're an easy target for him. That's the thing. If you didn't,
Well, he started recording me.
Are you serious?
And my daughter has my
that
face
is
on her
so rude.
screensaver like this.
I gotta see that. Yes.
It's not funny.
Oh my gosh. Well, my husband and son are the same way. Like at movies, they won't go to scary movies without me, and I have to sit in the middle because I don't really get scared of like jump scares and stuff. Like it's really hard to scare me. So they don't watch and they ask me what's going on.
Oh my
the
god.
whole time.
Your husband too?
Oh yes. Are you kidding? Carrie hates it.
If there's a burglar in the house, who's going downstairs?
Oh, that's me. 100%. Who the hell is in my house? Wait, let me get my gun. Let me get my knife. Let me get my pain pen. I'm coming after your ass. Yes.
See, like, I hate when my husband closes. I hate being home at night by myself. But when he's getting off late from work, oh my god. Like, I like lock everything, close all the blinds, double lock everything.
But what are you really scared of? Are you scared of ghosts?
I'm
are you
scared
of a person, or like a person ghost, like the combo? Like a
Well, my house,
murder
I'm in a
ghost.
rental house right now until our house is done being built. It's
Yes.
haunted.
I know, you did tell me about
It is
this, but
haunted.
why don't we give our friends like a little rundown?
I just always see, okay, so like we're in a small house and I'm like laying in my bed and like there's not like a really big loft. The loft is like, I swear to God, the size of my car.
Yeah, it's small.
Like if there was
It's
no
tiny.
seats in it. It's very small. But then there's like 2 bedrooms. My boys share a room and my daughter has a room. And then right now Harper's sharing with me because our like little rental is so small. But I can see both of their rooms from my bedroom door, right? And then that little loft. So every time I like look out to check on them, I just see like a shadow. My shit.
Like a shadow figure.
Yeah, and then like I see like a perfectly dressed
Like
man.
an outline.
Yes.
But you can't see through it. It's
no, it's dark.
It's dark. It's
Yeah.
thick.
And I mean, it's not always, but sometimes for sure. And then my shit's always getting moved. Like
Right.
there will be like, okay, I'm going to look for my car keys. I like search, I'm in my room searching for my car keys, go downstairs, look everywhere for my car keys, come back up and it's like sitting right in my face.
Like a trickster.
Yes.
I wonder if anybody else has tricksters. I don't know what people call them, poltergeist, trickster, whatever. I have one that fucks with my husband all the time, and it's hilarious. I'm so sorry. But only when he's like really highly stressed. Does it happen to you like when you're stressed?
Yeah,
mostly,
I think
or-
so.
I think it comes with like different stress levels.
Yeah.
And you said it'll take the baby's bottle
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yes.
And
But I mean, it's never like scary. Like I don't
Right.
feel very scared of it.
usually shadow figures are pretty scary.
I know, but
They're
he's just
pretty
like chilling.
malevolent.
Maybe it's a ghost I brought back from Disneyland.
Maybe.
Maybe he's like, you know, I got really tired in the theme park. I just need somewhere to sleep tonight. If you could just give me a night. And
You
then
seem friendly.
I know you're coming back next week. Just bring me back. I just need a week off.
Drop me back off at Pirates and we're good to go. So for everybody listening, this is kind of where we come from. I am a huge, there's nothing that I don't believe in because I've always been proven wrong. So as soon as I have a firm belief and a firm, ethos of what I think is happening in the world, it just all goes to hell. So yes, I believe in the paranormal. I believe in ghosts. I believe in gremlins. I believe in, witches. I believe in, aliens especially.
Oh my God.
Is there even a question
Of
anymore?
course, we know aliens. are
We
real
know
at
they
this point.
exist. So I'm not even a what you'd call a conspiracy theorist. I just kind of listen to everything. I'm very open-minded about things. And,
Yeah.
I definitely do my research, but so that's kind of where we're coming from. I think we're more. a little
My
more
husband tells me
open-minded.
I'm a conspiracy theorist. for
Oh
sure.
yeah. I think that's just an easy way to dismiss people too.
True.
Conspiracies. Do you know what the difference is between a conspiracy theory and the truth?
That the truth or the conspiracy is going to be the truth? I don't know.
About 9 months.
Oh, 9 months. That's funny.
You like that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I believe in ghosts. I don't know. I believe
Afterlife, paranormal. Yeah.
Paranormal, yeah.
But we don't have all the details yet.
But, okay. I swear to God, if I get haunted after this, my favorite of all the scary things are possessions. I
Like
love
movies and stuff?
exorcisms.
Oh.
They're like my favorite kind of movies.
Oh, those really
Because they're
rattle me.
so scary.
They are just, and they always involve kids.
I know.
Why?
I don't know.
That freaks me out. I don't know. Well,
Okay.
Let's go ahead and move on to some scary stuff at Disneyland. Then.
Yes.
This is going to fit in perfect.
Yes. Okay, so I think we're starting with you, Kindra.
Oh, I do. I get the first story. So this was actually the first fully documented death in Disneyland.
And there have been other Disneyland deaths before this, but none of them, they were so early that they weren't fully documented.
Right.
And it's hard to tell how true they were.
Well, they didn't have a lot of the same safety features and measures. And I think it was easier to keep things under wraps back then because they didn't have social media and things like that. But this one was actually fully documented. So this isn't an urban legend. This is a documented death, unfortunately. And this happened, it looks like it happened in June of 1974. And her name was Deborah Stone. July. I'm so sorry. July of 1974. Her name was Deborah Stone, and she was 18 years old. She had just graduated from Santa Ana High School, and supposedly she was a really good student and a very good athlete as well. She had just gotten the job working as a cast member in Disneyland for the summer. She was assigned to a ride named America Sings, and it was formerly the Carousel of Progress. It had only been open for about a week when she died. Now, this ride was a little bit different. It had just been kind of reimagined. So it was the Carousel of Progress. So it was a stage with animatronics, and it would slowly rotate. And it had 6 sections, kind of like a pie, cut in 6. And the audience would come in and sit down. They were stationary. But then the carousel or the stage would move, and like American songs would be sung, and then it would rotate again. So it was about every 2 to 2.5 minutes. So the entire thing was probably about 18 to 20 minutes. Well, Deborah was there, and she was working as a cast member, and it was her job to bring the audience in, get them settled, tell them a little bit about what the show was going to be, and then afterwards, of course, kind of, exit them, get it ready for the next group. So it looks like during one of the first shows she did, she wasn't there long. How long was she there? I mean, she was there for about a week or something. I guess during one of the shows, she had gone backstage or in stage where there was a storage area, and there was a gap. There was a gap. And I guess no one really knows what happened, but I guess this gap was large enough for her to slip into, either with a foot, or she stepped back into it, or she fell into it. Well, she got stuck. So unfortunately, every time the stage rotated, she was rotated with it and kind of crushed between the wall and the stage.
Ugh.
According to documents, audience members and cast members heard the screaming, but everyone, for some reason, thought it was part of the show.
Yes. I actually have a video recording of it.
No.
Do you want to hear
No,
it?
I don't. No,
Really?
You're not really going to play that, are you?
Yeah, I am.
What? No.
Yes! The world deserves to know.
Hold on. Trigger warning. No, I think that's awful. You're really not going to play that, are you? Should we link it? Can we link it?
Okay, we'll link it so you have the
it.
option to hear the
Only
scream.
because that's someone's, I don't know. To me, that's really dark.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to respect. This poor girl, she was 18. She's only a year older than my boy. You know what I mean? Okay, so we'll link it if anybody wants to. But I don't like that. I don't like to see car accidents. I don't like to hear people's last words. That really bothers me. Anyway, no one came to her aid of the full, 24 minutes of her being crushed, unfortunately. The guests recall hearing a murderous scream, but thought it was part of the attraction. No one knows whether she was not fully trained or whether it was an accident, but she was crushed between the wall and the platform. Now, the ride shut down for the next 2 days while everything was kind of cleaned up and fixed, but it did reopen.
Yeah, they just basically put up some hazard lights.
They did.
And
kind of said everybody,
they're like, all right, 2 days later, we're back.
Now, but did you hear that cast members have reported to say that when they were there by themselves, they would hear a disembodied voice saying, "Be careful, be careful."
Oh my God, I didn't hear that.
Yep.
I heard that they heard just screaming.
Oh, really? Residual?
Yes.
Yeah. Which we can talk about that too. I believe some of that is residual. When energy is so intense, especially during someone's passing, that it kind of absorbs into
Well, if you think
the
about
walls.
the amount of energy that's in Disneyland
Yes.
with all the people, but we don't even just have, of course, there's thousands of people there, but on top of that, the lights.
Yes.
all the
sound.
energy making the rides go, the fireworks. That's a lot of energy built up in that area.
So it has to go somewhere because energy is constant. It never stops.
Right.
So once energy is created, it's just continuous. So where does it go? So I do believe that that could be residual, just something that happens over and over and over again, as opposed to an intelligent haunting. But we can talk about that later.
So do you think that she has stayed there? She hasn't left?
I don't know. I really hope not. So that's the hardest thing with these ghost stories is I don't want any of these people to be trapped there or stuck there. But that's why I think it's like a tape that replays over and over and over again. And that makes me feel better. No one should be stuck in their death state.
I don't know. A lot of people would probably want to be stuck there.
Maybe, but not. I don't know. I want to be stuck in a happy place, and maybe there are different versions of them after you die, and we're in different areas that we like.
Or maybe she's just there trying to help.
Maybe
be careful. Maybe that's her thing
that's
she
her
needs
afterlife
to do
job.
is to
maybe she's a cast member in the afterlife and she's helping people.
Right. Okay. Did you want to cover anything else on that one, or are we ready to move to our next?
No, it's just really sad because she was very young, and I know it was a long time ago, and safety regulations and such weren't the same, but it was just kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most popular ones.
Yeah, really sad. We're moving on. I think this might be the most popular story, Dolly's Dip.
Yes.
On the Matterhorn.
Yes.
So it was January 3rd, 1984. Dolly Young and her friends were visiting Disneyland from Arizona. There's not a lot of information about Dolly besides that she was 48 years old, and people have said that she was kind and well liked by all who know her. I guess that make her that's what they always say about the princess. She's kind and liked by all.
Everyone.
I
I think people do say that about you after you die, though. So thank goodness.
I don't know if people will say that about me.
They will. She was stubborn as hell, but man, she was fun.
So during her visit, she and her friends boarded the Matterhorn at about 3:30 p.m. She sat in the far back. A few minutes into the ride, she was thrown from her seat to the tracks below. A 19-year-old witness recalled seeing a female bouncing on her back in the back of the tracks. At first, she was seen trying to get up, but then a second bobsled came and she was decapitated. She was instantly killed by the bobsled. And not only that, the bobsled got stuck on top of her.
Ooh.
So there was a whole group of people in this bobsled on top of her while she was dead.
That's awful.
Yeah. At that point, the ride detected a stop and it shut down completely. There were screams coming from the trapped people in the bobsled, which alerted a cast member to come running over. After seeing the terrifying scene, he rushed to get help, and other cast members came for assistance. Almost immediately, the Anaheim police and investigators showed up. The strangest part of the story is that nothing was wrong with the ride mechanically, and it hadn't even broke down. So,
well, I know from some of the reports that I read, it says that she unbuckled her seatbelt because they said it was unbuckled to help a kid or
that's
to help
a
someone.
Conspiracy theorist.
Oh, really?
So
it might be right.
They're basically we'll keep going.
Okay.
And then we'll get into that. Yeah, so there was nothing mechanically wrong. She simply fell out, is what they're saying.
Is what Disney is saying? Or the investigators?
That's what the family was saying. Family. That she simply just fell out. There was no foul play or suicide detected. Investigators paid more attention to the seatbelt that was lying open. Mm-hmm. But according to Disney, the ride wouldn't have started without her seatbelt being fastened.
Right.
They said back in those days, they basically checked 2 times. Each cast member would go back and twice and basically say, is your seatbelt on? Is your seatbelt on? Mm-hmm. Right? I think at this point is when the yellow tab started being implemented.
So you can actually
now
see it.
They can see that you're pulling your yellow tab. Yeah. So the family sued for $5 million, claiming that the death was caused by Disney's negligence. They ended up coming to a disclosed agreement in March of 1998. It's still argued about if the victim purposely unbuckled or if the seatbelt failed. So the family is fighting, basically saying your guys' seatbelt failed, she didn't take it off. Disney was fighting back, saying she purposely took off her seatbelt.
And honestly, how do you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's their word against hers, and unfortunately she's not able to
right.
this one.
Yeah, there was a big... Actually, Disney was pointing towards suicide.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I can think of a million. Well, I don't know. Matterhorn's pretty painful. I guess if you... You're like, oh God, that is one ride that would definitely do you in.
Yes. Yeah. At this point, she was the 5th person to die in Disneyland.
Wow.
There was some in between. But since this has happened, multiple cast members and guests have reported seeing Dolly on the Matterhorn and hearing her cry. I avoid this ride like the plague. I hate Matterhorn because
our
it
kids
always
love it.
messes up my back and my
So
neck
bad.
hurts after.
So bad.
I don't know. Maybe that makes me old, but this one really gives me like whiplash.
It's so bad. And I'm wondering if her spirit is the reason the damn thing's always broken down. Have you ever been on it?
I know.
Have you ever been in line?
Down.
I mean, you have to get in line 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
My husband and son will not ride anymore because they did get stuck. This is one of the rides they got stuck in because they're too tall. Their knees get stuck and then cast members have to help them out. So maybe that's a good thing. But our kids love this ride. And they're in so much pain the whole time. I
don't think they're in pain. I remember I used to be able to ride this ride too. It wasn't until I got
Are you sure?
almost 30 that now it's like breaking my back.
you like clenched up the entire time.
I
like
know, and you're just waiting for your head to like slam forward. It's just not a good time.
Aww.
But yeah, I mean, when they walk the ride at night when it's closed, they say like almost every night you hear her crying.
That's crazy.
When it's not running.
I wonder if they have, okay, so some of these have CCTV, closed circuit TV, like security footage now.
Oh yeah, there are. There's
are there?
pictures
Okay,
of her,
well,
yes.
maybe we'll have to post some of those links at the bottom, or if anybody wants to send them to us too. Because we just haven't had time to go through all these. We have so many stories, and once you go down this rabbit hole, man, there's a lot of stories, right?
Right.
I love it.
Yes.
Not love it. I'm sorry. I don't love that people have died at Disneyland. That's terrible. But
I'm actually a little freaked out about it. I'm like gonna double check my seatbelt and stuff.
no, that's true.
Yeah.
It's always scared me, especially with the kids on certain rides. Like,
Do you remember when we were at Disney World and we were boarding Snow White's mine train and one of the twins almost fell through the
Oh
crack?
my
That was
gosh.
so deep, wasn't it?
Samantha,
I'm
that was
surprised that hasn't happened to
horrible.
anybody.
That we almost lost him. We almost lost him down there. Like he just stepped right off in between that big gap, and that was deep.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if I grabbed him or something
we
right
both
before.
did,
Yeah,
yeah.
we just.
I think he was only like 3 years
Oh,
old
he
at the
was
time, and we were just
tiny.
trying to get him.
That panic, and then all of a sudden, even in that split second, you can see everything that would happen. Oh, he'd fall down there, then the ride would start, and it would take off with him. You know what I mean? All those horrible things that go through your head.
I know.
So,
I feel like I have those constantly having twins. It's always like sheer panic.
oh,
you know?
always.
I feel like I've just gotten to a point in life where I'm just like trying to keep my kids alive.
Especially those two.
Yeah.
You've done a great job keeping them alive.
I'm surprised I've done it. I feel like now that we're 7, we've like maybe made it.
Yeah, you've made it. I think you've made it through the hard times. It was hard there for a while.
Yeah.
It was difficult.
Very.
Yeah. They were making it hard on you to keep them alive.
Right.
They were doing everything in their power to unalive constantly.
I know.
Jumping off the fridge, falling in rides, running away in 2 different directions.
It was so terrible. But I kept him alive. We made it till 7, so
Yes.
we're good.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Okay, so now talking about a woman who actually did lose her son.
It's very sad.
It's terrible.
Discretion
So this
warning.
is the 1000th Happy Haunt story. So if you know, Haunted Mansion has 999 Happy Haunts. They basically called this one the 1000th. One more, basically, that was added. So legend has it in the 1970s, a woman scattered her late son's ashes in the Haunted Mansion because it was his favorite ride.
Aww.
Yeah. Apparently, the mom reached out to Disney officials to ask for permission, but she was denied. So the mother snuck in the ashes secretly and scattered them around the ride. Legend states that the boy is now bound to the ride and is always trying to escape. Multiple
That is so
guests have
sad.
reported hearing him cry and also see him at the end of the ride in that tunnel. There's
Oh.
also been reports that cast members see him and think it's a real child, but he'll like run into the ride. They try to chase him like, kid, you can't go in there. Then it disappears.
And then he's gone.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's actual footage of a ghost walking out of the Haunted Mansion also over to the Rivers of America.
Okay, so I've seen that, and I'll also post a photo that someone took in the Haunted Mansion of like a very pale boy's face peeking around something where he shouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
But, of course, I don't know if the footage has been manipulated or anything like that, but it's creepy.
Yeah.
It's creepy to see.
And I mean, at that young, as young as they're making this boy out to be, I don't think Haunted Mansion was probably his favorite ride. It might have been his mom's favorite ride.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, how many...
If my boys passed away and I was going to scatter their ashes, I would probably scatter them on pirates, right?
Right, something that they... fun and, happy. But, I mean, maybe this was their thing to do together. Who are we to say?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I mean... Those kids are a little bit creeped out, I think. Maybe when they're little, but maybe this was fun. They really enjoyed it. That is sad, though. And the whole idea of someone's spirit being stuck someplace is really sad, too. I don't like that idea. Especially at that age. So, again, it could just be residual. Maybe it is someplace they like to hang out. It didn't seem like in all of the cast member stories, he wasn't sad. He was fun. He was running around. He was playing jokes on them. Right. So, I mean, maybe that has...
Yeah, maybe he's sad sometimes and then happy other times. Right. Just like regular human, right? I
mean, you think if she did this in the 1970s, mom is probably passed away too. Hopefully they're together now.
Probably not. 1970s. If she was a mom in her 20s, she's probably in her 60s right now.
Okay, that's true. So she'll be nearing that, eventually. So hopefully they'll meet up in the afterlife then.
Yeah.
Together, and she'll get him out of there, or she'll join him. Who knows?
Right. So this story makes me think, and I just want to get your input. Mm-hmm. Do you believe, though, right? We're talking ashes, remains, things like that. Do you actually believe your soul stays with your physical body?
No.
So then with that theory of, we scattered the ashes, they're there now, do you actually believe that a soul would go with the ashes to be
I think the soul
there?
has the choice to do what it wants. So it may, there may be some connection. So there may be some energetic or physical connection that it has. Once that happens, I don't really have all the answers. Of course, I don't think anybody does. But it may just be a symbolic connection that they have to that. And then, for instance, with this little boy, mom really thought about me. She left me here. Maybe she'll come back and see me. Maybe the boy expects to see mom there sometime. But I don't think I like the idea of them being stuck. I think a spirit is very free.
Right.
To do whatever they want, you know.
Unless, when they're that young, maybe they don't know how to get out.
Exactly.
They don't know how to get home.
Exactly. Which is a very sad prospect.
A really sad theory.
Mm. And then just real quick. So and this brings me to something we can go over next week, but you said something, there's actual footage of a ghost walking out of Haunted Mansion to Rivers of America. We'll talk about it next week, but did you know that there were a couple of boys that drowned? Yeah, okay, you did? Okay. Yeah. So we'll cover that next time, because there's a lot of discrepancy about which ghost sightings belong to who.
Right, yes.
So we don't know.
So crazy. But so kind of want to get into maybe a personal ghost story. This one's not Disneyland related, but it kind of is. So Disneyland always you're watching the parade and you see the Headless Horseman. It's the first person to start the Happy Haunts parade. My husband swears it's real.
The Headless Horseman?
Yes.
The Disney version is real? Or what do you mean?
Just the legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
My husband is Salvadorian. He's first generation American. So he would a lot of times go back to El Salvador. And it's a real thing that after it's dark, kids aren't allowed outside. You don't really go outside once the sun's down. And if you do, you're not really scared of, I know there's heavy gangs in El Salvador, but you're actually scared of
those are cartels. That's not
the worry. You're more worried about the ghost.
Right, the Headless Horseman, the cartel, fine. But
my husband told me when he was a kid that him and his cousins went out and sat on their stoop basically, and he's seen the Headless Horseman.
Really?
And they got inside. He swears to me that he was sitting there and it came down the road.
What?
And him and his cousins all say they've seen it.
Huh.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay, that is crazy. And I know George. He wouldn't like make
George
stuff up.
isn't like
He's
dramatic.
Not at all.
I'm dramatic. Like, I'm
Right.
enough dramatic for both of us, but like, he really
doesn't tell
swears
stories.
that he like seen this, and like his cousins were there. They all seen it, and they literally like went back in the house and shut the door, and you just don't talk about it at that point.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Did he give you any more details about it, or?
He kind of told me what it looked like. The black horse, the man like holding like the light and everything. It's like basically exactly how it's in pictured.
So, does he get like PTSD when he goes to the parade and sees a headless horseman?
I don't think he's been to that
Oh,
parade.
I'm wondering if he'd get freaked out.
No, because I think
Seriously.
he was just like, they just like ran inside, closed the door, and were
Right.
like, yeah.
What about, does he know the story of La Llorona?
Yeah, but that's a Mexican folktale.
Oh, dang.
It's not really Salvadorian. It's
I
a little
wasn't sure if
different.
it kind of went into the Salvadorian cultures or.
No, my mother-in-law tells it sometimes.
Really?
Well, just like when it's brought up when the movie came out and stuff. Yeah.
You made me go see that crap.
It was good.
It was okay. It was scary.
It was scary. It was good though. But I just think that's a little crazy. You know, I feel like these stories have to come from somewhere.
I do agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens, there's always an origin to these stories, and they may be embellished a little bit and change a little bit, but where did the origin come from?
Right.
So
Yeah. Super
that's
creepy.
always something to think about.
Yes.
I never discount anyone or their stories, because if they really believe it happened, then there might be something to it.
Yeah.
He's got nothing to
like,
gain out
I
of
usually
this.
know when he's like fibbing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's fibbing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, because it's he's a very masculine guy,
Yeah.
right? And very machismo, very macho. So for him to tell you this thing scared the shit out of me,
I ran in the house.
right?
Yeah.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get into some funny stuff. We
Is
have
it
some
funny or spooky funny?
spooky funny.
Okay,
All right. Do you want to read the Am I the Asshole?
the first one.
Yep.
Okay.
Am I the Asshole? We are back.
Read it.
Now, I do want to preface that I could not find any Disney haunted Am I the Asshole. So this one's just a haunting story, and it's kind of funny to me. Or I guess scary funny. And then I have another one that's not really Am I the Asshole. It's more of just like asking for an opinion that I want to weigh in on.
But that one has a little more to do with Disney,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, should we now just be Disney paranormal podcasters? This is fun.
Maybe. Like, we should get some gear
And like,
and like
go
start
and
hunting
do-
in the
yeah.
parks.
Could we hide somewhere like overnight where they won't find us? Come on,
I'm
you think
not
of
like
someplace.
trying to go to jail.
You know me, I'm always trying to go to jail.
I know. But if
gonna
my
end up
pass was
there.
revoked, that might be worse than jail.
Please don't take my pass away. Just send me to jail.
Just jail. That's all I'm taking.
So I'll go ahead and get started with Am I the Asshole for being mad that my husband let us buy a possibly haunted house?
Hell yeah.
We are in our early 30s with kids. We decided to sell our home and upgrade to a bigger one. We were looking for houses for a couple of months and finding it really frustrating. We got outbid on one we really liked. Then my husband told me his coworker was selling his house and thought we might be interested. This sounds like your situation. Me and my husband went over for dinner, had a good time, and got a good look at the house. It met everything we were looking for. We decided to go forward and enter negotiations about buying the house and moved in July. Living in the house has been nice so far. However, I recently ran into the coworker's wife at the supermarket and we were chatting about the house. I mentioned how I'm starting to decorate for fall, and she said the spooky decorations will make the ghosts feel right at home. And they laughed. They thought that was funny. I was very confused and asked her what she meant, and she seemed equally confused. She said she and the kids had weird experiences, bad nightmares, doors slamming, other weird noises, creepy auras in the house, and that they thought it was haunted. She assumed my husband had mentioned that to me, and we were on the same page that we didn't care.
Hell no. Absolutely not, sir.
Well, we are not on the same page.
No, we are not.
My husband literally never told me. For background, my husband is a very skeptical and rational man. I confronted him and he said he didn't tell me because, number one, his coworker said he'd never experienced anything, so it was just the wife and kids. Of course, that always happens.
Okay, because we're just dramatic,
of
right?
Of course, yeah. And number 2, he knew I would get irrational and be scared, even though the house is perfect for us. And then number 3, ghosts are not real anyway. He insisted that he did not withhold information about the house itself. It was just irrelevant information about the co-worker's family and their beliefs.
Hell no. They said they have kids?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games till Sally's getting thrown across the room, right?
It's true. It's true. I am infuriated that he let us buy this house without telling me. I now feel scared in my own home. I don't feel safe here at night anymore, and every noise puts me on edge. I have been looking for a sale on camera so we can record inside the house and see if we can identify if any spirits are visiting. I also told our children about it so they can be safe and aware, but my husband is mad at me because they're too scared now. You know, they're scared also. I am hoping that the previous family was either hallucinating, but both the wife and kids? How is that possible? Or that the spirits traveled with them to their new house, maybe. I am not sure what I will do if they are actually here. My husband is not being very considerate of my fears and just keeps insisting ghosts are not real. He says I have no right to be mad and throw our family into turmoil over this. I know what he believes, but it's not what I believe, and he put us in this situation. Am I the asshole?
No! She is not the asshole. I think Reddit might disagree with me, but as somebody who does not fuck with the ghost, no, she's not an asshole. I'm sorry, if my husband knew the house that we were buying was possibly haunted and he's just like, oh, it'll be fine because it has a fucking island. Okay, like, I could give up the marble island for no ghost.
But those stories haven't been substantiated by the family living in it right now. Like, if stuff had started happening to me and the kids, and then I found this out, I'd be like, oh my gosh. But if nothing's happened, because I do believe in some cases people are haunted, not the house. Like, I really do. And especially the husbands that don't care, that are gaslighting their wives. Nothing ever happens to them.
Well,
Nothing.
I kind of feel like, okay, I'm a Taurus, I'm an earth sign. I feel like I'm very grounded, which I feel like that's why things don't really bother me, right? I still don't want to live there. I still don't want it. No.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think what he did was wrong because he doesn't want to scare his wife and kids either.
Then you don't move there. We move somewhere else.
You know what I don't like is she told the kids. I don't think that's right, because now she's putting that into their head. If something had happened, the kids came to her and said, Mom, there was this shadow or something moved or I heard voices or noises, then that's something she can go into. But for her to put that seed in their head,
yeah.
Now they're really going to be freaked out. Have you told your kids about your shadow?
No.
Okay, right. Because there's no way you're going to do that.
Right, because then they're all going to want to sleep with me and I don't have time for that. I'm trying to sleep good at night, not crushed between 4 kids, okay? Like,
so true. Oh my God. And by the way, I'm never coming over to your house to
But that's what I'm telling you, like, when that shadow does not bother me, even like the times that I see it, I literally just go to sleep. I'm too tired to fuck with it.
No, that's true.
Like, I don't have the patience or the energy for you, sir.
Right. And Shadow Figure's over there all pissed off because he's trying to scare me. And you're like, I'm exhausted.
He's like banging on the walls. I'm like...
You're like, cut it out. I'm trying to sleep, you bastard.
Don't you know the baby's going to wake up in 2 hours?
If you wake my baby up, so help me God.
You think you're scary? You haven't seen nothing. Nothing.
It's true. I mean, that's probably, let's think about it. 10 years ago, you probably would have been really freaked out.
Yeah.
But now you're like, okay,
actually, I feel like he's not even bothering me lately anymore because he's like, what?
Yeah, he's like, this isn't fun. Because he's not triggering you. He's not getting a reaction out of you. So, I mean, that could be it too. And I see where the husband, he doesn't want to give her, now the husband may know her better than she's putting in paper here too. He may know that maybe she's one of those that goes to the nth degree, like just way over the edge.
So she's me.
She might be you. Yes. And if I were your husband, I probably wouldn't say anything unless something came up. Then I'd be, oh yeah, they told me it was haunted.
What? Could you imagine, like, your kid's like possessed? You're like, oh, they told me about that. I knew.
Damn it.
Like, what? You have, like, your kids, like, doing a backbend bridge, running down the freaking stairs, and you're like, the dad's just sitting there on the couch like, oh, that's what they were talking about. Like, what?
I think, okay, so I used to have my real estate license. In some states, you do have to disclose if a property is haunted.
In Nevada, right?
In Nevada, I honestly can't remember.
I think so.
But in some states, you do not have to. So obviously there's something to it.
So
that's in the legal, those are in the revised statutes. Like, those are legal documents.
I actually think about this a lot.
Okay.
Like, we're in Las Vegas, right?
Yes.
Like, I'm building a house.
Yes.
And I constantly think, like, what if that was an Indian grave or something?
It could have been
or a Native American grave. Or
100%. I mean, but think about how long the earth has been around. There are dead bodies everywhere. Everywhere.
Right.
Like bones. And I mean, you're not going to get away from it.
True.
And if anything, it was a pet cemetery. Are you building your house over the poor, dog or something? He's going to come back and get you. Something's always going to come get you. But I do believe sometimes people are haunted, not places. So that could be the case with this. I'd actually like to follow up and see if this person has had any experiences.
See if there's any comments.
Yes. So,
overall vote was you're the asshole because you told your children.
Right. And that's, I think, where she went wrong, too.
Yeah, but I don't feel like she's an asshole for being upset.
No,
But she shouldn't have told the children. But there's no updates on this yet.
And this says, even if you prescribe to the belief of spirits, and I'm not knocking you for that, there was no reason to purposely frighten the children. Yeah, it's almost like she was kind of trying to get them on her side. Kind of making allies
fight
in the
Dad.
fight to fight Dad. Like, aren't you guys scared of the ghost too? We should go talk to Dad about this. So maybe that was it. But I think overall, people do think she's the asshole for telling the kids. Right?
Yeah, but let's see. So there's 1,000 upvotes on the post, but honestly, it's still pretty fresh. When was this posted? Oh, it's 3 years ago, so it just hasn't gotten a lot of views, I guess.
Yeah, hasn't got a lot of traction.
So it doesn't look like we'll probably get an update then. She was probably like, damn, I'm the asshole, I gotta go.
I know. She was like, I'm taking this down.
But if you're listening to this podcast, I don't think you're the asshole. I think your husband should be telling you anything he knows about a property.
Well, that's true, but where was she when this conversation was happening?
Well, it was his boss. They might have been at work.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But let's be honest. If there was something and you loved the house, you knew it was perfect and you were taking care of it, most of it, and you had the ins and outs and you were going in, but it was something you knew George would flip out about, would you tell him?
Yes.
Think about it. You would?
Yes.
You don't think you'd keep that from him? Like a little detail that you were like, okay, he's going to flip out about this. Let's just...
I mean, if I'm like building the house and I see the pipes underneath are like broken.
No.
And they're like, okay, it works for now. I'm going to tell him later. Like,
no,
what?
No. But I'm just thinking about something that maybe when you were there at night one time, you think you saw the Headless Horseman.
I'm
you
telling.
Knew that would
I'm telling. Look, I'm the queen of not asking for permission, but asking for forgiveness.
Yes, same.
But if this has to do with our souls, our kids' souls,
true.
I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I don't want it. I'm not interested.
Fair enough. I like how your honesty has a moral compass.
Yeah, like if it's like, oh man, I'm not going to tell my husband I'm going to spend all this money at Stony Clover, but I'm going to ask for permission later.
Right.
That's fine, right? Like,
but when it comes to ghosts, we got to be on the up
like
and
we
up.
have to talk about physical things versus eternal things, right?
True.
Like me spending a few $100s at Stony Clover isn't going to compare to me risking his life. His soul.
That's true.
Our kid's soul.
Or the kids, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, that's a fair point.
Right.
I
think. So I'm voting not the asshole. You're voting asshole because she told the kids.
Just for telling her kids and, making a mountain out of a molehill.
Oh my goodness. Can I see yours?
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, so our next one, this is another Reddit topic, but again, not am I the asshole, but more of like asking for advice. It says, my aunt wanted her ashes spread at Disneyland, Haunted Mansion specifically. My family thinks it's wrong. What are your thoughts on this practice? So it's a huge issue in Disney for people to bring ashes in and scatter them. Kind of like the story of the little boy on the Haunted Mansion, right? Mm-hmm. So, but this is being done all the time. Like I've heard that they're putting ashes in hydro flasks to get them through.
Really?
They're not bringing the urn. They're literally like putting the Ziploc bag of ashes into hydro flasks, into the park. They're constantly spread in Haunted Mansion. Constantly.
Why Haunted Mansion?
And Pirates.
Is that just like the most popular, or like?
I guess. Well, I think it's like a lot of people's favorite attraction. Mm-hmm. It's my favorite attraction.
Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's happening often. Somebody comments saying, as a cast member who worked at the park long enough, I can tell you that Disney finds the ashes all the time, vacuums them up, and throws them in the trash. This is not how your aunt wants to go. I promise you that. Yeah, I mean, it's constantly, I guess it's like a thing that they're constantly vacuuming up ashes. They literally just throw them away. And they have like code words to tell like there's a biohazard, basically. They're just cleaned up and discarded. Yeah,
but you know what? If it's the person's dying wish, I'm not really, I mean, well, I'm not much of a rule follower anyway.
I'm thinking about like when I'm on Haunted Mansion, at what point are you hanging out of the dinghy, like sprinkling these ashes? Like,
I don't know, you gotta tell me which part, because I know this is what you want done.
No, remember, I'm getting buried in Forest Lawn.
Yep. Okay.
Hollywood Hills. Write that down.
Okay.
Don't let them bury me in these trashy cemeteries in Vegas, because I don't want it.
They're not that bad.
They're
what
terrible.
What are you talking about?
I mean...
No, you just want to be in Walt Cemetery.
Okay,
That's what it is.
And there's like cute deers that like run around, and like... I guess these cemeteries are fine, but like... I just want to be with like...
Are we going to cover Walt's spirit next week?
We will cover Walt's spirit
and
next
his
week.
head?
Yes.
Or his lack thereof.
Or that he's frozen.
Right.
That's my conspiracy.
His head's frozen.
No, his whole body.
His whole body?
Until they have a cure for cancer.
Huh. Interesting.
Maybe.
Conspiracies.
Conspiracies. Okay, so back to this. So would you, if you knew it's not, but say my dying wish was to be scattered in Haunted Mansion, would you do it? Would you take me in your hydro flask?
Yes, I would.
You're touching my ashes and sprinkling them through?
Yeah, it's just dust. Dust to dust. I mean, it's just your dust. But it's I also, that's a big burden to put on other people, because I'm the one that has to live with that guilt. You're fine. You're already in Haunted Mansion. You're riding the ride over and over again. You're, hopping on with the single riders, and you're having a great time. And I'm the one that's like, oh, Samantha.
She's like, you're like pushing it through the straw. You're like,
please don't vacuum up my friend.
And then every time you ride the ride, you're like leaning over your doohickey. Is that what I left?
I'm gonna get out and like rub it into the dirt so they can't vacuum it up.
I think there's better places, guys, that we can find to leave your ashes. I don't think on the floor where they vacuum every day is a good idea. Let's talk about like maybe in the water by the castle.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Because what are they gonna do? Scoop it out?
Well, I think they filter the water, but
it's a good try.
It's a good try.
Or isn't Haunted Mansion getting an extension?
In the graveyard?
Yes.
In the grass.
Right in the grass
there.
In the graveyard.
Okay, guys, we got it. From now on, yes. I want you to update. Everybody needs to go and update their will.
Yes.
If you want to be spread at Haunted Mansion, you're going to get spread in the new graveyard.
In the grass.
In the grass.
Because then you'll just be compost.
This is so gross that now I'm going to think I'm never going to let my kids play in the grass.
Because it's all
ashes. Just kidding, guys. Don't do this. No, but it's probably going to be turf, not even real grass.
I know. You'll have to like really grind it in there to get it under the dirt.
Or maybe, okay, where the little house is over by Indiana Jones?
Yes.
If you just like dig up the dirt a little bit and like put it in there. There's just better places, guys. Like, let's find better places than
maybe
having them vacuumed up in Haunted Mansion.
Maybe anyone who's listening has some good ideas.
Yeah.
And don't poo-poo our ideas about spreading ashes. We know it's illegal, and the cast members...
It's illegal?
I don't know if it's illegal, but it's definitely against the rules. Do you know Disneyland has rules? They'll take away your pass. Don't take away our passes. Just
we're not
recommending.
We're not spreading anyone.
This.
Please don't take my pass.
We're constantly on the cusp of getting revoked.
Revoked.
Constantly. No, we just want some ideas, though. So if you have some ideas, or if you've done it, or you've seen someone do it, or if you're a cast member and you're just so fed up with people doing it, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah.
So as we end this, I just want to let everybody know. So for every week in the Halloween season, we will cover a story of somebody dying or a ghost story, and just maybe like paying our respects and our opinions, But as we end this episode, I just want you to ponder, do you think Disneyland is actually haunted? And if we do get to choose where we go once we die, where would you go? I think I would be in the happiest place on earth. But we'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Let's Talk Disney podcast. The code word for the giveaway this week is Dolly's Dip. If you are enjoying this podcast, don't forget to head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. You can also enable notifications to be notified of new episodes each week. Thanks so much for joining us.
We would like to take a second to thank our members on Patreon, and a special shout out to Mindy Mendoza for supporting our show. Your support will ensure that the podcast will continue and that we're able to bring the latest news straight from the park. If you would like to become a member, head over to our Patreon that we've included the link below in our show notes.